Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello my loves and welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, I had the absolute pleasure of interviewing the amazing Christina Flach. She is not only an incredible celebrity makeup artist with an incredible career, she's the founder of her own product line, a podcast host, a beauty expert featured on NBC, and a contributing writer for magazines. We talked everything, all things business, working with clients, and how to truly integrate wellness into your life as a beauty professional. You are honestly going to love this one, so let's get into it. So, Christina, can you let us know who you are, where you're from, and what got you started in this industry, please?
My name is Christina Flach. I'm a celebrity makeup artist. I'm also the founder and CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup. I'm Too Busy skincare, wellness, and makeup, which is coming in 2026. I'm a beauty expert on NBC, and I have my own show called I'm Too Busy.
Wow.
And I'm a mom of 5.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. So let me recap. I'm sorry. You are a celebrity makeup artist. You have got your own show, which is I'm Too Busy. Your skincare is coming out when?
Q1 of 26.
Amazing. I need to know all about this, please. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
of course.
Okay, and so I take it you started out as celebrity makeup artist, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, fantastic. So can you just take me back, please, and tell me what kind of drew you to this? Because I know that you are, from what I know of you, I know that you're an advocate of wellness within this
Yes.
artistry that you have. And so I want to know kind of like what the journey has entailed for you and what drew you to this side of the industry.
Okay, that's a loaded question.
I know.
I started, I've got to talk about it for 20 minutes. I started working on my cousins and my mom who had had brain cancer when I was young. And I think probably because I had a mom that was, had health issues, I was very drawn to wellness from a very young age, which I didn't even realize.
Mm.
So, and I was very into visually making people look and feel like the best versions of themselves. So, when I did my mom, her makeup when she was going out with my dad one evening, I had very little makeup skills and she had very little makeup, but we managed to make her look, but more importantly, feel like the best version of her. And that's always kind of stuck with me. And then I started doing proms and weddings, and then photographers heard about me. And then I started doing photo shoots, and then that led to campaigns. And then I was very blessed to miraculously get enough images together to get an agent. And so that changed the trajectory of my career quite a bit once I started getting agents because, you're given, I got to work with Gucci and Louis Vuitton and, different networks and different celebrities. And once you get, the hardest part when you're a makeup artist is getting the first celebrity because they've got their people. And so they need to see that you're good at what you do and that they trust. So little by little, it just kind of changed. And for me, being a mom of 5, it was a great job because it wasn't something that I did every day. It was whenever it worked with my kids' schedules and helping in classrooms and driving on field trips. And so after my kids have gotten older, I it just kind of kept expanding. But I also always noticed, I remember I had a photo shoot once for a company called Mark and Graham. It's a subsidiary of Williams Sonoma. And the model arrived with this awful breakout of skin. And I looked at her and I said, "Oh my God, what is going on here?" She's like, "I just broke out." And it was a Friday and we had Monday and Tuesday left to shoot. I said, "Okay, listen, do me a favor. You're making my job literally impossible. I can only do so much." Um, and I pride myself that the photographers don't have to do a lot of post, that my work is so good and that it's easy for them. So I asked her, I said, "Look, do me this favor. I want you to have celery juice all weekend, no sugar. I want you to drink a lot of water and I want you to sleep." So by the time Monday came around, I didn't know if she was going to listen. I didn't know what was going to happen, but it was miraculous how in 2 days, with her eating anti-inflammatory and drinking water and the celery juice, her skin was significantly clearer. She felt so much better about herself, and it made my job much easier. But more importantly, it really showed me how important beauty from the inside out is, how important gut health is. I didn't even realize that it was gut health that was the issue here, but it was. And so I've been speaking about, beauty from the inside out forever. I go on NBC and I speak about having water prepared with mint in it and ginger and, lemon or orange slice for it to taste better, because people complain, "Oh, water tastes so boring. I don't like it." I also feel that if you have things prepared ahead of time, like the green juice, I make enough for 2 or 3 days. I put them in mason jars so I can grab and go, or my kids can grab and go. And the water, it's in, I have water bottles, of course, but I also will put it in mason jars with something that tastes good. So when they get in the car, they have nothing to do but drink the water, and their skin will look better. So, I've done so many episodes, on California Live on NBC exactly about this. And so then when this company came to me about 6 months ago, a friend of mine is the CEO of this company, and he said, "Look, we've been kind of watching your show and you're getting a lot of traction. You've got over 125,000 listeners a month," which I wasn't even aware of. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that." And you speak constantly about gut health. Why don't you do a supplement line? And I'm like, "Okay, I'm a makeup artist. But then he said, "Well, why wouldn't you? It would complement your skincare line and your makeup line. If you can get people to have healthy guts, healthy, it'll affect the skin." So it's the perfect combination, with the makeup and the skincare line, my new supplement line that's called Reboot. We are launching August 1st. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I actually was up at 5 today. I told you earlier to get ready for a meeting with my supplement team to go over. It's a 3-step process. There's 2 in the morning, 2 midday, and 2 in the evening. And I know people are like, "Oh, that's so hard." Well, you know what? This is what you need to reboot your entire gut and system and flush out all the toxins and all the things that are making your skin break out and the eczema. It's, you can be putting on topical creams and all of these things, but they're really not getting to the root of the issue, which is the gut health, which completely affects your skin. I can tell you have a good liver and gut because your skin is flawless.
Me?
And I can see that. Yes.
Thanks.
I can tell. So probiotics are important, but the right probiotics. There are some that actually aren't good. And then there's combinations. This is what I learned today on this call with my team was they created these supplements, Reboot, 14 years in the making of them studying the different combinations of natural herbs and not just taking extracts of these herbs, taking all of it and the right combinations. You could get all these same things that they don't combine well that could actually have adverse effects. So it's super important, what you're putting into your body. It does affect your skin immensely. And I love visually making people gorgeous with makeup, but it's not about masking your skin. It's enhancing what you have and making you look like the best version of you, not hiding your skin that is clearly an issue and not ignoring it.
Thank you so much because that has given me just all of the insight that I need as to how you've gone from where you were to all of that stuff you just told us that you've done. I get it. And personally, I'm so into this stuff, and interviewing you is brilliant, but I think I'm going to need a follow-up email, please.
Of course.
You
Oh
know
my
what's
gosh,
going
we'll
on.
do it. It's constant learning. I was listening to Gary Brecka today. Do you know who he is?
I don't.
He's a cellular biologist, and he his previous job had been studying for insurance companies why people die. And he's a wellness expert and anti-aging and longevity, and he's fascinating. And I'm constantly learning new things, and I really love that. And it's also about, I think maybe because I'd had that trauma of my mother being sick when I was young, and clearly it wasn't her fault.
Mm.
But I just want to feel like the best version of me my entire life. Exercise. I was fascinated by that documentary on the blue zones. Are you familiar with that?
No, talk to me. What is
Okay.
this?
Oh my God, these blue zones. Okay, so there's certain blue zones, that's what they refer to them as, all over the world, where people live to be over 100. And so this man went, did you see that documentary on Netflix?
Now you've said that. Now I know what
Yeah,
you mean. Yeah.
yeah. It's fascinating. And a lot of it had to do. So when I talk about beauty from the inside out, it's not just about food. Obviously, it's food and water and rest and exercise and everything else, but it's also having joy in your life,
Mm.
laughter, purpose, and movement. Oh my gosh, exercise is huge. I've always worked out a lot. I played tennis when I was growing up. I ride horses. I work out all the time. But I used to work out extremely hard, and now it's more about just the consistency of it. I do yoga, I do Pilates, I walk like twice a day. I'll walk my dog. I have a gym in my house. I have an elliptical, a bike, and a treadmill and weights and a Pilates machine. And then I also go to classes when I have time and
Mm.
yoga. It's so much about strength, core strength, and stretching and movement. That's one of the things that was interesting with the blue zones. They asked a woman in Sicily, why do you think you've lived to be over 100? And she said, oh, it's definitely my faith. Well, her faith was up a big street, steep hill that she walked to every day. She
Yeah.
walked to her church. And so it is about constantly moving. When we get sedentary, just sitting around doing nothing with no purpose, leads to depression, your aches and pains in your body.
Mm.
And so why wouldn't you want to feel like the best version of you as you get older? Because, aging is hard enough, but then to add on to it, your muscles are sore and they're not being used just leads to more issues.
Mm. I'm so on this wavelength. I'm so into everything, movement, fitness, inside out, gut health, all of it. I want to kind of pivot back a little bit and ask you about how you built these businesses in a way that does protect that energy, in a way that does avoid the burnout and allows you the time and space for this inner wellness.
I think it's discipline.
Mm.
And also, I love what I do. I love being a makeup artist. I still work as a makeup artist, but I love doing these interviews, which I didn't at first. I was really uncomfortable being in front of a camera. I was incredibly uncomfortable. I learned to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm.
And because before it was like, oh my God, I'm scared. But now I know that uncomfortable feeling is exciting. I've changed the wording. Words are very impactful. So I say, oh my gosh, I'm excited. This is going to lead to something fantastic. So I'm not so, you want to be open to everything. Now I'm open to these possibilities. I never expected to start another makeup line or bring in a skincare line or for that matter, even doing these supplements. But I'm open to things and I'm excited about it because it's so interesting how like all these things I've been speaking about forever, they're all kind of coming together into a business. And it's fun learning new things and you don't get stagnant. And I just think it's super important to figure out what you love doing, but also having balance. That is why getting up, a couple hours ahead of time gives me that time to have the protein in the morning, the green juice, the water, check the emails, just to get myself, I can be a better version of me and give everything when I've taken care of myself. I think self-care is not selfish. It's actually the most generous thing that you can do for everyone because when you feel good about, I'm not resentful like, oh gosh, I have to be on a Zoom at 7 a.m. Well, I get to be on a Zoom. First of all, it's a mindset. I choose to look at things in a positive way. I choose to, be excited about what I'm doing. And I don't resent having to go pick my son up and drive him to a golf tournament because I've done everything that I don't feel like, oh God, that, you know how that is when you're like, oh God, I need to go work out. When am I going to get in? That is removed from my brain. So
Mm.
I don't think about, I have to eat well. I have to make sure I have my water and work out. It's all done. So I can really focus on what matters. This interview, doing my new company, speaking with clients for future jobs. So I think if you're disciplined, it it leads to, I like keeping my space super clean. My bed's always made first thing. My office is clean. I cannot stand being in clutter. It feels chaotic and I can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think that's a really good point to touch on. I think messy space, messy mind. And you're not going to be building a great business if you've got messy space, messy mind going on.
In the beauty industry, you can't be cluttered and messy. If you're a makeup artist, you're going on set. Your makeup brushes have to be clean. They have to be organized. Your makeup has to be pristine. So I think most people in the beauty industry, we're all visual and we want things to be beautiful. That's why we do what we do. So I think it just kind of is a natural trait that everyone has in the beauty industry.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say, based on the fact that you are that disciplined, how exactly do you do it all? How do you manage your time? And do you have to have certain boundaries in place with different things to help you do that?
I definitely make sure, like last night, I worked till 10, which I normally don't do, but I took the time. I had dinner with my sons and we watched a movie and I was kind of working on my portfolio as we watched. I make sure that I get to bed, I meditate, I say the things that I'm grateful for the day, and I just kind of figure out what I have. And I try to have, I need quiet. So I will recharge my battery. I'll have some alone time, but I don't really, I mean, definitely a people person. I like to be around people, but I also know that if I get too stimulated, I feel exhausted. So
Hmm.
I know that I can't have just too much chaos going on. And I work, my office is in my home unless I'm going on set. So I make sure there's candles lit, there's music playing in the background, windows open, I get fresh air, and I take, some moments to go outside every hour or so, get some fresh air, move around. I also have this amazing massage, like it's like a back thing in my chair in my office that massages up and down, and it also has heat. And so I'm sitting on a Zoom and I really don't care because my back's getting massaged. It goes on the upper back or the lower. It's fantastic. So
Mm.
I think making your space that you want to be into work, whether it be your office in your home or your station or wherever you're working, if you can make it be beautiful, you're going to be more inclined to want to be there. And I also feel that being kind to yourself, I've
Mm.
really learned that. I don't beat the hell out of myself of what I didn't get done. I focus on what I did get done that day. And I think, it was so funny. My best friend Diana had said to me, and she's a CEO of two companies, and she said, because I would make jokes about that, like, oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so, ugh. I would beat the hell out of myself. And she said, you would never treat anyone on the planet the way you treat yourself. And I said, yeah, that's absolutely true.
Mm.
So when she mentioned that to me, I just said, oh my God, why would I be so mean to myself? Like that's counterproductive. So
Okay. Yeah, I tell people that all the time. If I catch my sister, for example, saying negative thoughts, like voicing her negative thoughts about herself, or any clients of mine, anything, I'm like, what are you doing? This is
right.
counterproductive.
And
Like
no
you
one
said,
wants to hear that either. No
no,
one wants to hear all this negativity,
no.
you know?
And exactly. So you've obviously worked on your mindset quite a bit. If you used to
Yes,
be
very
that
much.
way. Yeah. So what would
Yes.
you say you have, or what are the biggest things in the mindset realm that you've had to learn and unlearn? Negative talk being one of those.
Affirmations. I think affirmations are very powerful. I work with this amazing energy healer in Canada. Her name is Diane. And we talk about, she says, words are very powerful. Our minds are very powerful.
Mm,
And so we need to use them in the proper way. If you tell yourself, oh, I'm stupid, oh, I'm fat, oh, your head and the universe believes that. So all these negative things are going to happen. And so I really am mindful. I tell myself, I do it in threes. I'm successful, I'm grounded, I'm determined, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm loved, I'm grateful, I'm wealthy. I'll say that 3 times first thing in the morning. I have my house feng shuied. I have to light these tea light candles, two upstairs, there's three upstairs, there's one, and then there's three down here. And while I'm doing it, I say these affirmations. The universe loves me. I accept and expect miracles. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I be generous. May I be kind. I try to just be super positive and think positive things before I go to bed, because our subconscious works even when we're sleeping. So you want to put positivity into your mind before you go to sleep so you can rest and wake up feeling happy and
absolutely.
joyful.
I love this. Do you know what I love the most about this as well, Christina? Is that you are an embodiment of what you are teaching, doing. You know what I mean? Like in your businesses, you're actually embodying that. And that is what I strive to do as well, especially when we're in this space where we've got other people that we teach or that that we are giving advice to and talking to. I love that about you. Just touching on that, going a little bit off piste here, when you just said that we need to fill our minds with positivity before we go to bed. I love that because I do my gratitude before sleep and all of that. What are your thoughts on subliminals, like audio, whilst you sleep? You know, some people they rave about having on a subliminal audio message type thing while they sleep. It could be about their fitness and their health,
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts on these?
Gosh, I'm absolutely obsessed. I use download the Calm app, or the Breathe app, and they have, like, I do different ones. Like I do this one that's like a sound bath that's amazing, and I do like positivity about work, about myself. There's different ones. There's a guy named Bob Proctor. He's passed away, but there's YouTube meditation on abundance. There is a meditation for absolutely everything that we need. And
Hmm.
you just have to look for it, and you can listen to it while you go to sleep. And I think it's really a powerful thing to do while you sleep, because your brain is constantly working. But also what's great about it, it'll calm your mind down. Like sometimes I am spinning because I have so much energy and so much going on and so many things I want to do. I need to calm my brain down before I go to sleep. So I always read a book
Hmm.
before I go to bed to just kind of slow down. And then I have my meditation ready. So I'm kind of about to fall asleep and I just push it, and then that goes on. And then in the morning, I do the Daily Calm, Jay Shetty, who's from
Hmm.
London, who I love him.
Love
And I
him.
listen to that, and it's so interesting. I love having my show. I'm too busy because I get to interview all these amazing, successful people. But it's fascinating to me to find out how they tick and
Yeah.
why and what they do. And everyone that I've interviewed now in almost a year, 45 different people. And every one of them, they wake up, what they have in common, they wake up
Hmm.
very early, they're very disciplined, they exercise. Self care is very important. Um, they have, they realize, some of them know that they don't have a lot of balance in their life and they're striving to have balance. But the ones that really are happy, that love what they do, they really realize they're very mindful of how self care is important, exercise, rest, and having time off and just tuning out. I think laughter is like such a gift, and we don't do enough of it. So, and I love to laugh. And so I think it's just really important to figure out what brings you joy. If you don't love your job, get another one or
Hmm.
do one on the side that you love. Like, there's a lot of people that are not entrepreneurs and they have a corporate job, but they have this urge to do something artistic, whether it be makeup artistry or being a florist or a decorator. I don't know. There's a million things, but figure out what it is that you would do for free. And I've told my children this: figure out what you love doing so much you do it for free, and then figure out how to get paid and where you want to be.
Mm.
My daughter Melania studied at Central St. Martin's in London, and she's a fashion designer, and she loves what she does. And my other daughter Rose went to NYU, and she's a screenwriter. She loves to read. She loves to write. She's figured out. My son Nikolai is turning pro as a golfer, but while he was at university, he went from studying engineering, which a mom is always like, "Oh, good, it's a proper
Mhm.
job." I clearly have a weird job. He's like, "Mom, I'm gonna." He was on the golf team. He's like, "I'm gonna change my major to jazz." And normally, my first reaction was, "What the actual f are you doing?"
Mhm.
But I thought, what do I care what he does? If it makes him happy, get a degree in anything, because most people don't even use their degree anyway.
Mhm.
And he learned, like, my son didn't take music lessons as a child. He is self-taught. Like, he hears music. He taught himself drums, guitar, piano, electric guitar. Like, he taught himself all these things. So when he changed careers in the university, it was very hard for him because he couldn't read music, but
Mm.
he loved it so much he didn't care.
Mm.
So my point is, in telling this story about my son Nikolai, when you love what you do, even if it's challenging and hard, like, trust me, I'm going into a new space in the wellness world with scientists. Like, I'm
Mm.
literally on calls with scientists. It is obviously not what I normally do, but I love it and I find it fascinating and I'm constantly learning. And
Mm.
I think it's important.
I love that. And I think I love hearing about your kids as well. I mean, it sounds like you have a great family over there as well that's absolutely smashing it. What I want to know is, and you've talked about it there, is do you think that that is why we keep going? Because there are times in entrepreneurship, it will, like you just said, speaking to scientists, it's not really your bag, but we love it because it's getting you to that like place you need to be with this business. I tell people all the time, have a really strong why, because that's what's going to get you out of bed in the morning. If you're having a crappy day, how else are you going to get up and go? So, what I want to ask you
You are so right.
is there a
I,
time that you think you have felt like quitting, but your mindset, your why has pulled you back from it? Just tell us a bit of a story if there is one.
So yes, because everyone does. There's days that
Mm.
are challenging and you're like, why am I doing this? I hate it. Or I'm on set with someone that's awful, or I have a difficult client like I had yesterday. I had a client that was just a nightmare. I asked this question a lot. What do you do when your day isn't flowing? So that's how I'm going to respond to this. When my day isn't flowing, or I just feel like I'm overwhelmed, I go out of my office. I go for a walk. I make sure that I've eaten, that I've had water, that I've exercised. Or if it's just too much, I'm tired. You know what? We don't realize when we're exhausted, everything is magnified worse.
Mm.
Your mood, everything, it's just worse. So I check in with myself. Sometimes I need to just go get a massage, go get my nails done, go to lunch with a friend, do something other than what I'm doing. And sometimes all I need is an hour or so and I'm back on track. But sometimes you just need a break from yourself and what you're doing because it's just not flowing.
Yeah, I think that's it. Working through it because you know you've got a strong why, but using those actual physical things that you can do, go and get yourself feeling better when you need to change your mindset, isn't it? So I love that. Thank you so much. And another thing that you touched on whilst you were talking about that is, of course, like you've had hard days with difficult clients, you've been on set with people that are difficult and things. What are some tangible ways that you think the listeners in the beauty space can attract aligned clients? We all want aligned clients. We want premium clients. We want good clients. And we want to stay true to ourselves. We want to have our brand voice heard. We want these things to align. How do you think we can do that?
I think I always treat people the way I want to be treated. I spoil. I think one of the reasons I am been successful being a makeup artist is because I've been a mother. So I'm pretty selfless. I'm used to tending to people and taking care of them. And I love that. So I will start, for example, with my clients. I get aromatherapy, I'll get a lavender, and I massage their hands, sometimes their neck. So it puts them into a good space. So when they're being difficult, I just sometimes they want, you have to know, you have to read your client in literally 3 seconds. Do they want to talk? Do they want quiet? Do they want to listen? You have to ask yourself that, and you have to know it. And you have to know your place. Sometimes you say nothing and just let them be. And then also, sometimes there's some people, my ex-husband taught me this. It was so funny. I had this client once and she was just really difficult. And he said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm not going to work with her." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you are. You're going to put a pain in the ass fee onto her. You're going to charge enough that you don't mind."
Mm.
And you have to also be able to go, you know what? You have to fire your clients sometimes. They don't need to know they're fired. You just don't, you're not available or whatever. You have to do it in a tactful way, obviously. But
Mm-hmm.
some people are just miserable and difficult, and there's nothing you can do to make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
So don't take it personally. Who knows what's going on in their shoes? They might be having a really difficult time that they don't even know, and they don't know how to express, and they're going to take it out on you. So I think if you can just be kind, try and make them feel good, but also know there's just some people you just don't want to work with, and you don't have to.
I think that hits the nail on the head. There are some people you don't want to work with. So we want to talk to the people that we do want to work with.
Well, also, and I think having, if you show your clients respect, they will show you respect and boundaries. It's important. If you have, I have like the women that do my hair, I am always on time for them. And I'm flexible if they need to change because my job is weird. Sometimes I have an interview or I have a shoot. They know I'm flexible with my time and their time, but I always show them respect. And if you get clients that are constantly late or don't pay on time, you have to put up a boundary, and that's your lesson. We all have lessons in life, and that one is that I was chatting with the woman that does my hair in San Francisco, and she was complaining about a woman. She's not complaining. She was telling me about a client that hadn't paid like for 7 months and she's late and all these things. And I said, well, that's on you. If you know she does that, if she's always late, let her know that there's a fee or you don't work with her. Or you have to put up it's like almost like a child. You have to train them. Once they're trained, they're fine. But some people aren't trainable and you don't have to work with them. If they cause you more havoc than the amount of money they pay you, charge them more or don't work with them.
That is the best advice. I think you've got to put the boundaries in place. But there are so many women out there in the industry and men as well trying to run these businesses and they are overwhelmed. And that is why we do these interviews. What advice would you give somebody that is thinking, I'm just so overwhelmed at the minute with everything?
Change your schedule a bit. Maybe work less hours. Maybe work less days. Days that you have off, really be off. Don't do your social media. Have a day like I have a friend, her name's Tiffany DeBartolo. She's a writer and she owns a music label. And she's called Sunday, we call it Tiffany DeBartolo Day. The Tiffany DeBartolo Day is to do whatever you want. Eat what you want, watch what you want, exercise what you want. Just have pure joy. So when you feel like you had a day off, it's a lot easier to deal with people. It goes back to being, are you tired? Take a break, change your hours. You are the only one that can give you the life that you want to have. No one else is going to give it to you. No one's going to tell you, oh, take it. Because, your hairdresser, people in the beauty industry are entrepreneurs in their own way. They have their own business. You have to create the environment that you want. No one is going to do it. Maybe it's not the right salon for you. I believe in feng shui. I have this amazing feng shui master that does all my houses. And, maybe it's just a bad location. The salon just has bad energy. Maybe you just need to go somewhere else.
I love that. I was about to say, what if it's a case of they are overwhelmed, but they can't take a day off. They need to find some clients. Like they need some income. Let's be honest. They want to actually grow this business.
You know what? Here's another thing. Are you charging enough? We always feel like we're scared to charge, to raise our prices because we're scared we're going to lose them. That will weed out a lot of the clients that are zapping your energy. Because that's another thing. I'm all about energy. So I do a shield up, 1,000 feet up, 1,000 feet down, and all the cracks around to kind of protect myself. And another friend of mine, she's an Emmy award winning makeup artist. She taught me something. At the end of the day, when you get home and you've been around 10 people or however many, go shower all their energy off or
Yeah.
go for a walk before at the end of the day. Take a little time to just get there because we listen to them. We take on their problems and it's exhausting.
Yes.
So if you can take a little time in between clients, like clear and release, clear and release, clear and release, that's going to help a lot. But so much, I think, in the beauty industry, we don't realize how important our own self-care is for us to be able to give to our clients.
Clear and release the energy throughout the day, but also, like you said, at the end of the day. I love that. That's the first thing. The second thing, up your damn prices because you feel better
Yes.
knowing that you're being paid well to deal with X, Y, and Z.
The other thing about raising our prices, it shows our value, which shows the respect. So if
Mm,
we want our clients to have respect for us, so when people see like, I'm in magazines, I write for, that's another thing I do. I forgot to mention, I write for magazines about beauty and wellness.
mm,
I don't have it when someone will like, they'll ask for my price list and I'll send it and they're like, oh my God, you're so expensive. I send before and after pictures. I'll send like 25 different ones of before and afters that I've done. I also send my client list. I also show all the magazines I've been in and all these different people. I'm like, I'm worth it. No one's forcing you to work with me. My
mm.
work is flawless. I'm on time. I'm not a pain in the ass. You're going to look amazing because, you know, we do what we do because we take such pride in it. So if I'm to do someone's makeup, it's my face, it's not their face because what they look like is a reflection upon my work. So I take so much pride in how someone looks and how they feel. That's a large part of being a makeup artist is how you make people feel.
Mm,
Because, that quote by Maya Angelou, it's not how they're going to remember you, what you did, but how you make people feel. And
mm.
I think I know how to make people you know, feel really good. Um, Make them, sometimes someone just needs to listen or, when they get their hand. So Zach Posen is one of my clients. He's a fashion designer and he loves when I do his neck, I massage his hands because he's got so much going on. He's head of creative of all Gap,
Wow.
uh, Banana Republic, Old Navy, Gap. I mean, Gap Kids. It's like he's head of all creative of all of that. And he gives so much that when I do a shoot with him, I really listen to him and I just make sure that he feels really good before he goes in front of a camera.
Mm.
And that is super important. What differentiates you in the beauty industry? What makes you better than someone else? Why should someone hire you? Well,
Absolutely.
what do you do to make your clients feel good? Are there flowers in your station? If you do hair, is there a candle? Do you offer them tea or water? Doing these little things may seem insignificant, but they're hugely impactful on the experience that you are giving your client. We are giving an experience to people when
Mm.
they come to us for whatever, if you're a stylist or a hairdresser or a makeup artist. We are giving someone, and I charge a ton. So I make sure if they're coming to my home or if I go to them, I make sure that there's music and candles and I offer them something to drink and it's a pleasant experience. No one is going to pay me what I charge if they come into my home and
Mm.
it's a mess
Mhm.
or if I'm not kind or here's the other thing. No one is going to hire me if I'm a disheveled mess. My skin's bad, if my hair's a mess, or if my makeup's not done, or if I'm not dressed properly. We are giving an illusion. We are giving an experience. So if we're not part of the illusion, why is someone going to hire me? They want to, not that they want to look like me, but they want to I feel like I'm the best version of me.
Yeah. I got told when I first trained in beauty therapy that I had to be the advert for my brand and
Yeah,
my business.
absolutely
It
true.
comes back full circle to the energy and you attract what you put out and all of that, isn't it? You have to be a part of it if you want to attract those clients in, if you want to do all of that. The other thing that I wanted to ask you about as well is Is there, I mean, how does it feel working with celebrity clients? Can you just tell me on a real level, how does that feel, please?
It's like a dream come true,
Mm,
honestly. I get to spend, it's like going to camp. I get someone in my chair, Condoleezza Rice, Zach Posen, Tyler Florence, all these amazing people, these beautiful models that I get to spend time with, that I get to chat with. They're normal people.
mm,
They're all exceptional in their way, but it's such a joy being able, and especially when I get to work with them over years. I've had Tyler Florence, he's a celebrity chef here in the States. I've had him for 17 years. He's like my brother.
mm.
His wife's one of my dear friends. His kids are like my nieces and nephews. And I really take pride in having these long-term clients. I love, it's so much fun that I get to be behind the scenes with them when they're doing something that they love. And they teach me so much. My gosh, I get to be in on interviews with people in business. It's like going to business school when I get to hear all these different things that are going on. And
Mm.
it also inspires me to greatness, to do more, to be more than I thought. I did, I could say, oh, I'm just a makeup artist. No, I have my own line. I'm a CEO. I have a show. I'm a beauty expert. I write for magazines. I do all these things. It puts me into this little bit of place of uncomfortable, not uncomfortable, but inspiration. I'm
Mm.
inspired to do more because of all that they do. I'm like, well, I want to do more. I never want to just feel like, okay, that's it. I don't know what else is on my horizon. Like now that I've got the supplement company and the skincare and the makeup and all these different things and this show, I don't know what else I'm going to do, but I'm open to everything.
It's actually incredible. And you are a really big inspiration, honestly. Just like me sitting with you having this conversation inspires me, like the way that you sitting with your celebrity clients inspires
Right.
you.
The blessing that you can meet someone and have, spend time, which to me is the greatest gift of all,
Mm.
spending time with people. Um, I've had a lot of loss in my life. My son passed away, my mother, my husband, some of my dearest friends. And so to me, time is priceless. So when someone gives me, like you're giving me this opportunity to have time with you and get to know you and chat about these things, it's such a gift to me. And I think when you're grateful for all these blessings in your life, and people see that, people are so willing to help. All you have to do is ask. And if you're not, I think it's important to have people that you can go to that are at another level than you, to go and get inspiration, or if you have questions. I don't know all, like my business partner Vince, he's amazing in the business space and he knows numbers. That's not my strong suit. I'm learning. Like before I'd say, oh, I don't do that. I don't have a business plan. I don't do any of these things. Well, now I've really learned. He'll tell me, Christina, I want you to look at it on your computer. I want you to read it 3 times. I want you to think about it for 5 minutes and then call me and we're going to have a conversation. So he's kind of trained me to think in a completely different way than my artistic brain thinks. I have to
Mm.
use my business brain. And we don't realize we're much smarter than we give ourselves credit for. And how fantastic that you can learn something from honestly everyone. I had the opportunity to work with this teenager named Ivy a few years ago, and actually I'm going to interview her on my show. And she had gone through a lot of hardships in her life, but I asked her, like, so what are you going to do when you get older? Like, what do you love to do? Or, you can be anything. Like I gave her kind of my Tony Robbins motivational talk. And a few weeks after, I taught her how to, this is another thing. As women, we are not taught how to do makeup when we're teenagers. We watch on Instagram and TikTok, but that's not real life being a makeup artist. That's not what you see on TV or in a magazine or in an ad.
Mm.
You don't really see crazy makeup. We don't know how to put it on, how to match our foundation, how our brow is supposed to look, all these different things. So anyway, I taught her a bunch of things about making her look like the best version of herself. 2 weeks later, she called me and she said, "Can I tell you something?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." What? She said, "You made me feel so good after our consultation that I applied to a study abroad program and I got it. I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks and I'm going to study art. And I literally started to cry
Mm,
because I didn't really think what I said was that important or that impactful. But
mm.
she will tell you to this day that that time that we spent together changed her life and how she looks at things. If we can all aspire to make people look and feel like the best versions of themselves, to give them the confidence and the inspiration to greatness, my God, how great would the world be?
Yeah, absolutely. You've given her back like the power to go and make that choice and that show up in that way. And that's incredible. And I think from that as well, it's all about putting yourself out there, isn't it? It's like you said, asking questions. Like if there is somebody ahead of you, ask the question, get in the room, try to be surrounding yourself with people that are slightly ahead of you, that are, because you're the average of what is it, like the 5 or 6 people you spend the most time with, isn't it? That type of thing. So it all comes back to that. And I think she's a teenager now, but when she grows up even more, she's going to remember you as the person that was that massive influential person in her life. And it's a pivotal
Oh,
moment. It's massive.
that's so nice. I hope so. But I also think, even for myself, I started interviewing. I always thought, like, my God, I have the best job. I get paid to do what I love to do, but I get to meet these amazing people. I thought, wouldn't it be so cool if I could interview my clients? And that was kind of when this company came to me about doing my show. I thought, my gosh, I can just interview like my clients, and how fascinating would that be? But
Mm,
this is one thing you would be shocked. People always, I would say this before as well. Oh, I can't ask that person. They're going to say no. And, I can't bother them. They're so busy. You know what? When people come to me, like aspiring makeup artists or someone that they think might be interested in this, I would never not speak to someone if they wanted advice and guidance of how to create a line or be a makeup artist or what you need to do. I feel like it's part of when you become successful, that's part of the deal.
mm,
That's your obligation to give back, to help those that are starting, just the way people gave you an opportunity. And so when I started doing my show, I asked a bunch of people to be on it. And then I asked Lee Steinberg. He is a very famous sports agent. So I sent him, I don't know him personally, but I follow him on in LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. We're friends. And so I sent him an email and I just said, hi, I've got this show and I was wondering if you would be on my show. And he wrote back and said, yeah, absolutely. And then I have sportscaster friends. They're like, how on earth did you get that guy? And I said, I asked him. So sometimes you just need to ask,
yeah.
most people will say yes. You'll be shocked, but you can't, to make this assumption that someone's going to say no because of what you've created in your head is preposterous.
Yeah. And do you know what? That's sort of led me on really nicely because it shows that you're human and it shows that you are just a nice one too, and most of us are. And I've really loved that. So if anyone's listening and you're thinking about asking someone to help you, ask the question. But it leads me on
Just ask.
nicely.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you as well if there has been, because we always like to leave this on a really positive sort of note, like a soft note for the listeners, just to know that the people I interview, they're human and they're just, they've had these lovely careers, but they're actually just normal people. So is there sort of any funny stories that you can tell us or just something that might be wild to me?
About a client or,
If you've ever had something that you think would be maybe classed as embarrassing or funny
oh,
in your career that's, would make somebody laugh today and think, you know what, she's just a human being.
yes. So I've had mishaps with fake lashes. I can't stand them.
Me either.
They pop off I had a client that was on TV and she had like single lashes. And so one of them came off and like was on her face on live TV. And they called me, I went in, I saw it, and this is one thing, don't show fear. I just acted like it was no big deal and it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Hugest thing I ever learned. Don't ever show fear to a client. If you make a mistake, we all make them, fix it, and do not tell the client. They do not need to know that there's some, shadow under the eye and you got a Q-tip and wiped it off or got some concealer and cleaned it. Like just it's only a big deal if you make it be a big deal. So believe me, I've had them. I've had some people that are just a little off, and I just go, oh my gosh, it's always a good story. I just turn it into comedy. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good story to tell at dinner tonight.
Yeah, I love that. And just not to show fear, like you said, it's
Oh,
only a big deal.
never, never.
Yeah, it's only a big deal if you make it a big deal, isn't it? So it is what you make it, and I love that. Thank you so much. I have kept
Yes. Of
you for such a long time, and all I want to say now is thank you so much for joining me. Could you tell us, well, tell the audience exactly where they can find you, please, and what's the best place to get in line for your next launch in August?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's been such a delight. You can go to ChristinaFlach.com. You can go to prettygirlmakeup.com. And then I'm Too Busy TV. And the supplements will be, we don't have the website up yet, but it will be ITB Wellness. And I'm so excited to share it with you. And hopefully we can chat again after August, and we can talk about the supplements
Yeah.
and share. We'll give a discount code to your listeners, and they can try the supplements.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for listening. I'm going to leave all of the details for you in today's show notes anyway, so everybody can find you and get in touch. And then, yes, we will absolutely do this again. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. And to everyone listening, I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.